Okay, so today's lesson, I'm going to tell you right now, there are multiple ways that you can add and subtract mixed numbers. Some ways are easier than others. I'm going to show you the one way that will work every single time for every single problem. If you find other ways and you get the same answer, you can use those. Just realize that sometimes the method that you choose to use on one problem might not work on the next problem. So you might have to, if you choose to use other methods, which is totally fine with me, you might have to switch around the way that you use them depending on the type of problem. The type that I show you today will work on every single type of problem, okay? So if you find another way, that's great. I'm not going to share it with the class because I don't want to confuse people. Does that make sense? So there's multiple ways. I'm going to show you the one way that works for everything. That way you can always use it. And then if you find a different way, that's fine, but you might not use it on every single time. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So the first one, we're going to draw a flow chart like we did on the page 33. We're going to start, though, with mixed numbers. What is a mixed number?
Wait. Yeah.
Colby, what's a mixed number?
Is it when there's a whole number in the front of it and then there's a fraction behind it?
There's a whole number and fraction. Okay, so when you have mixed numbers, the first thing I want you to do is to change them to improper. Nope. After you change it to improper, you're either going to have like denominators, and I'm just going to abbreviate it as denom. So you either have like denominators or you have unlike denominators. If I don't have like denominators, what do I have to do? Brian?
Get the LCN.
Yep. So we're going to find LCM.
Oh, I thought it was LCD.
LCM or LCD can be either way. Least common multiple or least common denominator. You can use either one. Either word means the same thing. Okay, after I find the LCM, what do I do? Okay, so if I have like denominators, I add or subtract the what? Numerator. And what happens to the denominator?
The way that I'm abbreviating and writing this makes it sound like I'm planning out like some sort of I wrote add or subtract with numerator and then denom stays.
So then after you find the LCM, you would just add or subtract the numerator and the denominator is going to stay the same, which is the same as when you have like denominators. Okay, when you have like denominators and you add or subtract the numerator, you're going to get two options. You're going to get a fraction or
Mixed number.
an
Improper.
improper. Yep. If I get a fraction, what do I do?
You write that up.
Reduce
If possible.
if possible. Let me get down with notes. Okay, if I get an improper fraction, what do I have to do?
Change to a mixed number, then reduce.
I change to a mixed number. and then I reduce. First example, so these are going on page 36. It is going to be 8 and 5/6 minus 2 and 1/3. Okay, so I have mixed numbers, so the first thing I have to do is change them into improper. 8 times 6? 8 plus 5?
53.
Minus, I multiply, and then add, and my denominator stays 3. Questions on that? So now I need to get a common denominator because I don't have one. So what do you want to use for a common denominator? 6. But I'm going to take this fraction times 2. So 7 times 2 is over. Okay. So now I have 53 over 6. I subtract 53 minus 14. 3 minus 4, can't do it, so I have to borrow. 13 minus 4? 9. 4 minus 1? So I'd get.
And then you make it. Okay, that's not hard.
So now I got an improper fraction. So now I need to change it to a mixed number. So I can take 39, divide by 6. How many times can 6 go into 39? 6. 6 times 6 is
36.
subtract and you get.
3.
So what's my denominator?
3.
6 and 3.
6. But can that be reduced
2, 6, and 1
to 6? So I would divide both the top and bottom by 3. My final answer would be 6 and.
Change to 39 minus 36.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. But.
I just focus on the fractions.
Okay, Brian, if you have something to say, raise your hand. Okay, if you have other ways, we're not sharing with the class, you can do it. We don't need to share with people. Okay? All right, next one. 7 minus 1 and 1/2. 7 is a whole number, so how do I make it an improper fraction?
7 over 1. 7 over 7.
How do I make it an improper fraction?
I was gonna say put it over 2.
Not over 2, because 7 over 2 would be 3.5. Yes.
Or 1.
Put it over 1, because a whole number can always be over 1. You didn't raise your hand.
Oh, that's what you're looking
Yeah. So 7 minus, I would make this improper. 2 times 1
at. 2.
plus 1 over. Okay. So then now I need a common denominator. How do I get a common denominator?
Times 2 times 2.
I'm going to multiply it by 2. 14, or 2 times 7
14.
over
2.
minus
3.
over
2.
14 minus 3.
11 over 2.
How many times can 2 go into 11?
5.
You'd have what left over?
5 and a half.
Dang it, I did do it right the first time.
Questions?
Like 5 and a half, and I just split that out. There are
Example number 3. 5 and 3/8 minus 4 and 11/12. Okay? I'm going to make them improper to start with. Multiply. Add. What do you get?
43
over 8.
Multiply. Add.
59.
Yeah, it's 48. 48.
What?
12 times 4 is 48 plus 11, 59. And then my denominator here is, okay, what do we want to use for common denominator?
48.
24?
I didn't know that 24 was the
So what do I have to multiply 8 by to get 24?
3.
So I have to take the top times.
3.
Okay, I do it off to the side. 3 times 43, so 3 times 3 is? 3 times 4 is? 129.
Oh, dang it. Oh, I thought it was 40.
Minus, what do I have to multiply 12 by to get 24? So I have to take the top times 2. So again, I do it off to the side. 2 times 9? 2 times 5? Plus 1? 118? Yep. So then I would take 129 minus 18. If you need to write it off to the side, do so. 9 minus 8? 2 minus 1? So I get,
11 over 20.
can that be simplified?
No.
So that's my answer.
Yay.
Questions?